How do you respond to disrespect? Disrespect is a problem that we all encounter occasionally in life, and it can be very distressing and infuriating. However, what if we could take a cue from the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, which teaches us how to face adversity with grace and wisdom? I dare you to be tough and stick with me through the entire video as we explore 10 useful Stoic concepts that can help us deal with disrespect in a better way. Let's get started. Number 1. Keep your calm. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is that our thoughts about our experiences disturb us rather than the things themselves. Epictetus once said, "People are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take off them." This means that when someone disrespects you, remember that their actions are motivated by their own thoughts, feelings, and opinions rather than a reflection of your true value or worth. This will help you maintain your composure and prevent their disrespect from negatively affecting your emotional state. Number 2. Stoics reflect on themselves. One facet of Stoicism involves engaging in introspection and introspection. When faced with disrespect, it is important to reflect on yourself and ask yourself questions like, is there any truth in what the person said or did? Did I do or say anything that provoked this situation? The Stoics believed that the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives, and that we should always strive to improve ourselves and our actions. Marcus Aurelius once said that the quality of your thoughts determines the happiness of your life. You can better understand the occurrence and your own role in it by objectively reflecting on yourself and the circumstances. How can I respond in a way that is compatible with my values and virtues? To ensure that your replies are based on reasoned judgment rather than rash reactions, practice self-reflection. It fosters wisdom and personal development and aids in your ability to learn from the experience. Number 3. Stoics learn to pause. Seneca famously said, "Whenever you are angry, be assured that it is not only a present evil, but that you have increased a habit." Stoics emphasize the value of self-control and reason, contending that rash decisions resulting from strong emotions like anger or frustration frequently cause needless suffering when one is treated disrespectfully. The Stoic method advises you to refrain from acting on impulse and to take a minute to gather your thoughts. By resisting the need to reply right away, you can regain control over your emotions and take the time to respond in a more measured and thoughtful way. You can respond more wisely and in accordance with Stoic principles of self-control. This strategy frequently results in interactions that are less emotionally charged and more constructive when faced with disrespect. In order to remain calm and make thoughtful choices when faced with disrespect, stopping is an essential Stoic tactic that will ultimately result in more favorable outcomes and personal development. Number 4. Stoics have empathy. Seek not the good in external things, but rather the good within yourself, according to Epictetus and other notable Stoic philosophers. Stoics hold that humankind is interconnected and that when someone acts disrespectfully, it can help you interact with them better and grow as a person. Stoicism advises developing empathy. Empathy can help you view the issue from a different viewpoint and recognize that the other person's disrespect may not be deliberate or personal, but rather the result of their own worries, insecurities, or ignorance. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and comprehend their perspective. By identifying with the person who mistreated you, you can respond to them more politely and dignifiedly and prevent yourself from taking their words or actions personally. Empathy can also help you feel sympathy for them and lessen your negative feelings toward them. By using empathy to better understand the other person's viewpoint, emotions, and intentions, you can respond to them with kindness and respect rather than becoming irate or defensive. In doing so, you can prevent the conflict from getting worse and preserve your dignity. Additionally, empathy embodies the Stoic values of wisdom, empathy, and personal development. You can deal with disrespect in a more positive and constructive way by practicing empathy. Before I continue, count yourself as an exception for making it this far into the video. Now that you have demonstrated your strength, let's continue to the end of the video. Number 5. Strocism is based on virtue. One of the basic tenets of Stoicism is the cultivation of virtues like courage and wisdom, which are the attributes that enable us to live moral lives and behave honorably. The renowned Stoic philosopher Seneca claimed that virtue is nothing more than just good reason. Stoics hold that virtue is the greatest good in life and that everything else is unimportant when we are virtuous. This implies that being virtuous is the same as being reasonable and consistent with the natural order of things. When faced with disrespect from others, Stoicism teaches us to respond with virtue. This does not mean that we should ignore or put up with the disrespect. Rather, it means that we should respond in a way that upholds our Stoic principles and values. By keeping our focus on virtue, we can resist being swayed by our emotions, preserve our integrity and dignity, and develop as individuals. Stoicism pushes us to reach our full potential even under trying circumstances. Number 6. Stoicism embraces acceptance. One of the most important aspects of Stoicism is learning to accept the things that are beyond our control, such other people's disrespect. We should be content with what we have and not worry about what we lack, according to Epictetus, who described himself as a wise man who rejoices for what he has rather than laments what he lacks. Stoicism also teaches us to recognize the difference between what we can control and what we cannot, or the Stoic dichotomy of control. We are only able to control our own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. We cannot control outside circumstances or other people's behavior. For this reason, when we encounter disrespect, we should not allow it to disturb our inner peace. Rather, we should accept it as a fact of life and concentrate on how we can better ourselves and our circumstances. Accepting disrespect with composure helps us prevent unneeded rage, irritation, and resentment. We can also develop personally from the experience, which enables us to respond to disrespect in a cool-headed and collected manner. Number 7. Stoics use humor. Seneca, the great philosopher, once stated that you have conquered yourself when you know how to deal with things that you shouldn't take seriously. Sometimes, a little humor goes a long way. Stoicism stresses the importance of humor in helping us deal with difficult circumstances, while also teaching us to regulate our emotions and behave logically. When someone disrespects us, humor can help us maintain emotional equilibrium and prevent us from becoming overly upset or irritated. Rather than allowing our feelings to take control, we can choose to respond with a clever comment or light-hearted joke. Of course, humor should not be used inappropriately or excessively, but it can be a helpful Stoic technique to handle disrespect in a way that leads to a more positive and peaceful outcome. Number 8. Stoicism means setting clear boundaries. Being a doormat is not what Stoicism is all about. It's about being a rock that knows its worth and demands respect from others. It's about controlling what it can and letting go of what it can't. When someone treats you disrespectfully, you don't have to take it personally or react angrily. Instead, you can be calm and assertive, telling them what went wrong and how you expect them to treat you. You can also set reasonable boundaries that protect your dignity and self-respect. Stoicism teaches us to be strong, just, and courageous. It teaches us to respect both ourselves and others. Number 9. Stoics forgive. When someone disrespects you, how do you respond? Do you become furious, or do you ignore it? There is some insight to be gained from the ancient Stoic philosophy. Stoics hold that forgiveness is a gift to oneself rather than a favor to the other person. To achieve inner peace and pleasure, you must choose to let go of the bad emotions that are hurting you more than anybody else. Forgiveness is not a simple task. It does not imply forgetting or accepting what happened. Stoics believe that while we should forgive everyone, we should do so sensibly, justly, and with compassion. We can't control how other people behave, but we can control how we respond. We can choose to forgive and release ourselves from the weight of anger and resentment. We can choose to move on with an inner sense of peace and tranquility. This is what Stoicism means by forgiveness. It's a triumph rather than a defeat. It's not a sign of weakness but of strength. It is a reward rather than a sacrifice. The ultimate act of self-care and personal development is forgiveness. Number 10. Stoicism will change your perspective. As the Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." When you use perspective, you can see that most cases of disrespect are minor and temporary. They do not affect your true worth or happiness. Perspective is the ability to see things from a broader and more objective point of view. It helps you avoid overreacting or taking things personally when someone disrespects you. You may also see that disrespect is frequently a reflection of the ignorance, insecurity, or weakness of the other person, rather than of your own. Rather than allowing it to bother you, you can choose to ignore it, forgive it, or learn from it. This helps you to keep your focus on the things that are truly important in life, such as your objectives, values, and virtues. You can live a more fulfilled and peaceful life by using your energy and time to pursue what is good and meaningful for you, rather than wasting them on resentment or revenge. So the next time you encounter disrespect, remember to use perspective. It will help you stay composed and act wisely. Stoicism is not about repressing your emotions, rather it's about managing them well. By following these 10 principles, you can remain strong and composed when confronted with disrespect and rude behavior. If you're new to our site, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more lessons on ancient wisdom. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you in our next video for more Stoic wisdom videos.